Hello guys, thanks for joining us today. Today we'll be talking about cool modern Java technologies, and today we have here Ivan Mazaluk, my good friend and colleague. He has worked a lot with Hibernate, and I hope he will cover today all the main benefits and drawbacks of this technology. I remind you that you can ask all your questions in our chat. We will answer them several times during the course of today's presentation. And Ivan, I'm passing the word to you.
Okay, thank you. Hi guys. As Daniel already said, my name is Ivan. And today we are going to talk about Hibernate, its benefits, drawbacks, and how Hibernate really works. I have prepared a huge demo about different Hibernate pitfalls and, let's say, Hibernate basics. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I have some difficulties with presentation, so maybe let's just check it out like this. Yeah, sorry for that. So, as I already said, I'm a Java software engineer from EPAM, and I have been working in EPAM for 3.5 years now, and I have experience with Hibernate in two production projects. But when we are talking about Hibernate, we can talk about. First of all, we should talk about JPA. What is it, and what is and how we can use it? So for me, JPA is a specification, is a set of guidelines how to correctly interact between Java and database. Important to understand that JPA itself doesn't have any implementation. JPA is just a set of interfaces. JPA allows to map associations between database and Java, but we actually need some implementation to do that. Okay, and Hibernate is the implementation. Hibernate itself is a framework from Object Relational Mapping Group. So Object Relational Mapping is a, as already said, JP implementation. So there are different ORM technologies, such as Hibernate, maybe it's the most popular technology. We also have Eclipse Link, other technology. You can use JPA without Hibernate. You can just use another object relational mapping. You also can use Hibernate without JPA, but actually I wouldn't recommend doing that, because when you're using JPA with Hibernate, let's say you are more flexible. Let's say tomorrow some critical security vulnerability will be found inside Hibernate. And if you are using JPA and under the hood Hibernate, it will be much easier to switch from Hibernate to another object relational mapping. For example, Eclipse Link. But on the other hand, if you are using plain Hibernate, it will be much more difficult to switch from Hibernate to another object relational mapping. Let's talk about Hibernate benefits. First of all, Hibernate is open source and lightweight. Of course, in comparison with JDBC, Hibernate is totally not lightweight, but in comparison with other object relational mapping technologies, I can say that Hibernate is lightweight. Hibernate supports different caching levels. First level cache is enabled by default. So yeah, to enable second level cache, you need to configure something. But in general, this caching level can definitely boost your application performance. And finally, both Hibernate and JPA are introducing their own query languages. For Hibernate, it's called HQL, Hibernate Query Language, and for JPA, it is called JPAQL. And you can write queries in these languages, and under the hood, they will be translated into SQL. And maybe for Java developers, it is like easier maybe to write queries in these languages because they are like Java based. Okay, so yeah, maybe it is really easier, yeah, as I said, to write queries in these languages. So yeah, I think we are ready to jump into our demo. Okay, now I will try to enter presentation mode. Okay, so what I will use today, I will use Spring Boot framework, and I'm using database MySQL. All the source code will be shared with you after the presentation. So today we will have a business model about movies, related to movies, actors, companies. So we have 3 entities. Let's check them. Maybe let's start with entity actor. So here we have all the annotations which are needed for JPA. Yeah, I'm using JPA with Hibernate. Here you can see that I'm using generation strategy sequence. What does it mean? Inside my database, a special table will be created. This table will be called something like Hibernate sequence. And this table will store last generated ID for all my entities. So let's say I want to create new movie, and last ID for whatever entity, doesn't really matter, was, I don't know, 41. Next ID for this new movie will be 42. I hope that this is clear. Also, we have first name, last name, age, nothing special here. And here we have set of movies. Of course, actor can have many movies, and same for movie. Movie can have many actors. I hope you understand that when we have this kind of association, which is really many-to-many association, it is like best practice to use a special table. In our case, it will be called movie actor. And in this table, we will be storing pairs of IDs. Movie ID, actor ID, movie ID, actor ID, and etc. And also, movie has company. Of course, movie has just one company. That is why here we have many-to-one association. And company can have many movies, list of movies. That is why here we have one-to-many association. We will talk about all these attributes later. Maybe you already have some questions about these attributes, but yeah, let's talk about it later. What else I will be using? I will be using special implementations of command line runner interface. If you are not familiar with this interface, I will just execute some code. It will just execute some code for me when the application is starting. Okay, so let's check our run method of create command line runner. In create command line runner, we will be creating some entities. I have special logs to understand when something is happening. Okay, so this is like checkpoints. Okay, so here we will create 4 movies. Okay, and I will be creating these movies using movie repository. Let's check movie repository. Here it's just a Spring Bean annotated with repository annotation, and here I'm using entity manager, and you can see here annotation persistence context. What is entity manager? Let's say Hibernate has some kind of caching storage, as we already discussed earlier in the presentation, and this entity manager can interact with this storage. Okay, so when we are calling persist method of entity manager, we are saving something into this storage. Okay, so let's go back to our command line runner. So using create method, I will be creating 4 movies. Same for actors. I will be creating 4 actors and 3 companies. Okay. So let's execute this code. So I will be executing this main method, and all command line runners will also be executed. Let's check. Let's run our application for the first time. I hope you can see my console. So here we have some logs. So yeah, I'm using create drop attribute. It means that during every application run, all the tables will be created, and after application ends, all tables will be dropped. Okay. So here we can see some insert statements. Yes, so we are actually inserting some companies into our database, actors, but notice one very important thing. Where is our log? Yeah, maybe I didn't mention it earlier. My bad, sorry. So here I have, sorry. Okay, I have this final log, finishing create entities. So actually, my expectation is that since I'm actually creating, for example, this Disney company here in the line 66, I will see log about inserting company above this log, above finishing create entities. But what we can see here is that we can see log finishing create entities, and only after that we can see all our insert statements. So what is happening? Why is it happening? You see some logs about Hibernate above create entities, but all these logs are related to Hibernate sequence table, which I mentioned earlier. So what does it actually mean? Let's try to print some entity, okay? So here I will just print Inception movie, and let's check how I am creating this Inception movie, okay? So we will go to create movie. Here I'm setting name, budget, issue date, no more. Please notice that I'm not setting ID, okay? I'm not setting ID, but let's check what we've got. So I will run our application again. And yeah, a lot of logs. So let's check. Insert statements. So as you can see, somehow Inception already has ID 2, but I didn't set it. Why? Because I created this movie inside, I put it inside persistence context, and this is exactly why Hibernate sequence update statements, select statements were already executed, because we need to immediately set all necessary IDs to avoid ID duplication. Okay, so Hibernate set these IDs itself. So I hope this is clear. Now let's actually go back to our presentation for a minute. Okay, so we have this there. I hope that you can clearly see it. So all our entities can have 4 states when we're talking about JPA, when we're talking about persistence context. So persistence context, as already said, is some kind of caching storage. And when entity is inside persistence context, it is in managed state. Okay? When you just creating some entity, it is in transient state. I have seen also that this state can be called new. Okay, so transient or new state, when we're executing persist method of entity manager, we are switching to managed state, and until all SQL operations are actually executed, all our entities are inside persistence context and they are in managed state. What if we want to execute them immediately? For that, we have a special method which is called flush. So let's check it. I will go back to my presentation mode. So now, okay, so let's uncomment this line. So let's check what will happen now. Now I'm calling this movie repository flush method, which is actually just calling flush method of entity manager, okay? So let's execute it. Again, a lot of logs, and let's see. So notice now we have our final log finishing create entities, but now it is under all our insert statements. Why? Because we were calling this flush method and all SQL statements were executed immediately when we are calling this flush method. That is why now this log is actually the last log which we see. I hope that this is clear. So before I jump into next Hibernate examples, maybe we already have some questions.
Yeah, we have two questions. The first one, what cons does Hibernate have? I think we shouldn't stop on this now. We will cover it later during our presentation. And if you still have this question by the end, you can ask it later. We will repeat. And the second question, what do you personally prefer, Hibernate or old plain JDBC?
Actually, yeah. It is a tricky question. Prefer when I'm doing some like exercising, I want to try some new technologies. Of course, I prefer Hibernate because it's easier to use for me as a Java developer. But when we're talking about production projects, there are some I don't know, performance requirements, some other requirements. So yeah, so you need to consider a lot of variables. Do you want to use Hibernate or do you want to use JDBC? So yeah, it's a question which your team should answer. Not only you should answer. But yeah, again, if we're talking about some pet projects, I prefer Hibernate. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I would also add that there is a Spring Data framework that is some kind of, well, it wraps Hibernate, and you can just create interfaces for your repositories without creating an implementation. And the framework itself creates the implementation, so it's even less code than in Hibernate. And yeah, personally, I prefer either Spring Data for pet projects or JDBC for real projects, because JDBC allows you to control much deeper what happens in your application than Hibernate, because it has multiple levels of caches, etc. But it's still a cool technology that fits in many places, but definitely not all projects. Okay,
Yeah, totally agree.
I hope we answered your question. Yeah, I also wanted to add that, guys, if you start using Hibernate and you don't see these logs, I think they should be enabled in the properties file.
Yes, I can actually show you. So yeah, again, as I said, these properties will also be shared with you. So I have to enable these properties to actually see all Hibernate logs, which I'm showing right now.
Okay, thank you. That's probably it for now. Let's go further.
Okay, perfect. So, okay, now I want to show you what. Let's talk about actually relations between entities. Okay, so here, notice that I have this join table annotation in movie entity. And I don't have this join on the table in actor entity. Why? Because it doesn't make any sense to put this annotation in both entities. Because when we're talking about these Hibernate relations, always we have, let's say, one entity, one relation owner. How to understand who is relation owner? It is not the entity where you can see this mapped by attribute. So if I see mapped by attribute in the actor entity, it means that actor is not the relation owner. It means that movie is a relation owner. Why do we care about it? Okay, let's check some example. So I want to uncomment this code. So here we have one actor and one entity. I want to add movie Inception to actor Leonardo DiCaprio. So what are my expectations? Movie Inception will have one actor, and actor will have one movie. Yes. So here I have some logs. This class I'm just using to store IDs to use it in another command line runner. Okay, so here. So this is another command line runner. Okay, it will be, this code will be executed after create command line runner, and let's check what these entities actually got. Okay, let's execute this code. So again, my expectation in logs of select command line runner, we will see that DiCaprio has movie Inception, and Inception has actor DiCaprio. But let's see what we actually have. So finishing select entities, some select statements, and so yeah, just let me quickly see. Actor movie. Yeah, so as you can see, these logs are from select command line runner, and for some reason, movie is null for DiCaprio, movie is null, and actors null for Inception. But we add movie. So what is happening? Why? If you will check logs of create command line runner, higher. Here, everything is okay, at least for DiCaprio, right? So here he has Inception movie. Okay, so seems like something is wrong. Let's try another approach. Now, let's try to add DiCaprio to Inception movie. Okay? So I just uncomment these lines of code and comment these lines of code. So basically, this is just the only difference. Yeah. Let's check it out. So let's just wait a second. Again, a lot of logs. So, oh, you see, for some reason now we have actors DiCaprio for Inception movie, and we have Inception movie for Leonardo DiCaprio. Why is it different? And the answer is because movie is a relation owner. Movie is a relation owner. That is why it makes total sense to add DiCaprio to movie, because movie is a relation owner. And it doesn't work for actor because actor is not relation owner. And when we are adding movie to actor, Hibernate doesn't really understand that this entity should be connected. I hope this is clear. Now, let's check another example. Let's go to movie repository, and let's say I want to select all movies. Okay. Manager dot find home. You see, I need to specify primary key. It means that I can find one movie. So entity manager, for some reason, doesn't have find all method. What can we do? We can use, as I mentioned earlier, JPQL. Here, how it looks like. This query will be actually translated into select all from movies. Okay? So I want to select all movies, nothing special. Yeah. And one more thing, let's add let's add actors to movies. I have added 3 actors to Inception and 2 actors to Dunkirk. Let's check our logs. Let's check what is happening. So I'm just actually, as you can see, selecting all movies using my query, and I'm just printing all of them. Let's check logs. So actually, let's have a closer look to count of select statements. So I have this select movies, and I have a lot of select actor statement. I have 1, I have 2, I have 3, I have 4. We have 1 movie select statement and 4 actors select statement. So if I have, let's say, if I will have 20 movies, how many select statements do I need to execute? Yeah, something seems wrong. Let's add another movie. Just add another movie, okay? Movie Memento. Let's execute everything again. So previously we had 4 movies, and there was 5 select statements. Now we have 5 movies. Let's check how many select statements we will have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is called n+1 select issue. When we are just selecting movies, and after that, you are selecting actors for each movie separately. So if you have 1,000 movies, and for each movie you need to select actors, you will execute, under the hood, Hibernate will execute 1001 select statement. I hope that this is totally clear, that this is a huge issue. How to avoid it? One of the approaches is to use left join fetch. So now, instead of calling this method, I will call this left join fetch method. And here, notice that I'm fetching actors here, okay? Not after that. I'm already here fetching actors using left join fetch. So let's comment these lines, and let's uncomment these lines. So here, as I said, I'm using find gpql left join fetch method. Let's execute it, and let's see how many select statements we've got. Previously, we've got 5 select statements with 4 movies. Let's check it out now. You see, just 1 select. I'm selecting everything I need in 1 select statement. Yes, this is like a huge select statement, but this is better. This is 100% better than n+1 select statements. So one of the approaches to avoid 1+1 select issue is to use left join fetch. There are other approaches, so this is not the only option, but yeah, I just want to show you this issue, and that you should consider it. You should keep it in mind. Okay. So let's go further. I want to show you exception handling. Okay. So let's say I want to yeah. Let's say I want to create one more company, and I'm calling some next method, some business logic method, but this method will actually throw runtime exception. Okay. For this like presentation, for this example, I will switch to update. I will switch to update option here. It will not drop the entire all the tables after application execution. So let's check what will happen. I will throw notice I will throw runtime exception in this method, which is also transactional. Okay, so I'm throwing this from also transaction. Yeah, sorry that I didn't mention it earlier. Transactional annotation is very important topic. If you haven't used it before, please pay very close attention to it. Okay, this is very important. So let's check it out. What will happen? Probably I have to exit presentation mode because I have to check this. Okay. I hope you can still see my console. So we can see some stack trace, and let's check my database. Okay. So let's check companies. It's empty. You see, everything is empty. Now, what can we do? Let's say I'm not throwing runtime exception, but I'm throwing checked exception, IO exception. I have to add exception to method signature. Okay, so these methods are totally identical. One difference is that this is unchecked exception, this is checked exception. And we have a special attribute of transactional annotation. Don't roll back on, and here I can specify IO exception, which we are throwing. Let's check what will happen. So there are no issues. This exception will be actually thrown. You will see the stack trace right now, okay? But let's check our tables after application execution. So again, stack trace failed to execute, but let's check tables. You see, now exception is thrown, but we still have all our entities. Why? Because we throw exception, but we told we have specified this IO exception in don't roll back on parameter, and that is exactly why all SQL statements were still executed. So I'm not saying that you should do it in 100% scenarios. I just want you to, again, consider this option. Maybe you will have some use case when this approach will be useful, okay? So next thing which I want to show you, now I will switch back to create drop, and I will enter presentation mode again. So next thing, let me comment this. Next thing, let's talk about lazy initialization exception. Okay, I have a special command line runner which is called lazy command line runner. Let's uncomment all these lines. What I'm doing here, I'm just in another method, which is actually, again, notice that this method is not transactional, but this method is transactional. I want to find the movie Inception, and I want to get actors here, not here, but here. And one more important thing is that here we have fetch type lazy. What does it mean? If there are two fetch types, eager and lazy. When we have eager, actors will be, let's say, selected when we select movie. When we have fetch type lazy, actors will be uploaded, will be selected when we need them. So this is kind of lazy loading, okay? But you can end up with lazy initialization exception using this approach. So let's check it out. So as you can see, lazy initialization exception. Why is this happening? As I already explained, we want to get actors here, but this method is transactional, not this. When we are, let's say, leaving this method, we don't have access to our persistence context, to our storage. And when we don't have access to the storage, we can't select which is not like already present. That is why we have lazy initialization exception here. So this is actually the last thing which I wanted to show you. So I guess now it's time for some Q&A.
Yeah, sure. But first we will have a minute of commercial. You can see here the logo of MJC School, and if you just joined our YouTube channel, we have total 100% online and free Java school that you can join on mjc.school and study Java from the very beginning up to the cloud and modern technologies. Okay, and one more thing, please, if you liked this lecture, press likes and maybe subscribe to our channel. It really helps a lot. And now probably back to our questions. Okay. One question about n+1 problem. Are there any other way to handle n+1 problem?
Yes. So first of all, you can try to avoid it. At least you need to. So in general, yes, there are other approaches. You can try eager loading, maybe. Yeah, I'm not saying that eager loading is the best solution or whatever. Just as I explained, we have this n+1 select issue when we're selecting actors for movies. So maybe when you have eager loading and eager loading will upload actors with movies immediately, maybe you will avoid this issue. But again, maybe you need to configure it somehow correctly. So yeah, you need to deep dive into this topic, and yeah, I'm 100% sure that there are other approaches to avoid.
Yeah, from what I know, there is an approach with a batch size annotation on the collection inside inside your entity, and from what I understand, it loads entities in batches. But yeah, I haven't used it, so probably it doesn't work
me
that
neither.
well. And the next question from the same person, doesn't left join fetch have issues with pagination? Very specific question. Ivan, maybe you know it.
With I'm not really understand what you're talking about. We like in typed query we can specify offset limit. So yeah, maybe there are some pagination issues, but I'm afraid I'm not aware of them. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, talking about ways to handle n+1 problem, I just want to promote JDBC wherever I can. So using Hibernate, you can execute native queries, and you can write native query that avoids n+1 problem. So anyway, there is a low-level approach. Maybe it doesn't suit you, but it exists, and it doesn't have problems with pagination if you write it correctly. Sorry if we couldn't really answer your question here. And there is one more, I think, more difficult question, more specific. Using Spring GPA Hibernate DDL auto equals update. Are you familiar with this?
Yes.
Yeah,
I mentioned
great.
it here.
Yeah.
Update.
When this property equals update, I got null for each field in entity class. If change to create drop, the entity object will be created correctly. But then I need to change it on update again. And it's not convenient. When I need to use update or create drop, is it always necessary to use it?
Yeah, unfortunately, just with audio, I didn't fully understand your issue. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, maybe yeah, we can try to answer it in the comments later. But yeah, in general, when we're talking about this DDL auto, what to use, create, drop, or update. Well, if we are talking about environments when you need to like start your database in some environment, maybe create drop is better. So in general, create drop is better when you don't care about data. Okay, when you just have to test something, because for me the main feature of update is that it will not remove all your data from your database. So for
Useful
me,
feature, yeah.
yeah, so for me this is like the main feature. So when you are, I don't know, uploading new version of your application to production, you can't use create drop because it will remove all your data. But yeah, I totally understand that there can be some other pitfalls in comparison create drop and update. So yeah, maybe we can try to answer your questions later.
Yeah, I would also be afraid of using any DDL auto in production, even updates, because I would not really rely on the auto-generated SQL to handle my entire database. I would better turn it off in production and probably on all environments except local, where you don't really care what happens. And I would use other tools to create and update schema. You mentioned in the previous your question Liquibase. It's a great tool that can be used with a console, and you can update your database and then deploy your application.
Yeah, agree. Liquibase is a good tool.
Oh, someone tells me that there are some questions in our VR community platform too. I haven't checked it. I'm sorry. I will open it really, really fast. I hope if I find Oh, Jesus. If I find it fast enough, I will try to answer these questions. But I don't see the link. Guys, if you can please post these questions to the YouTube chat, because we primarily focus on it. Oh my God, it's so difficult to find. Just a second, one more second. Oh, yeah, I have finally found it. Okay, a lot of hellos. Yeah, there is a note that n+1 problem can be solved using entity graph. Yeah, so guys who asked about it, there is one more solution for you. And could you explain your vision of dirty checking?
Well, yeah, I'm not actually familiar with term exactly dirty checking. Maybe you're talking about dirty read.
Nope. Hibernate feature, automatic dirty checking, whereby changes to a persistence object are automatically saved to the database when the session is flushed or the transaction is committed.
Oh, okay. This actually called dirty checking?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, always learning. So actually, I'm not recommend using Flash. For me, this dirty checking is some kind of I don't know, some kind of cheat code. Okay, so if you are using dirty checking, maybe you need to I don't know, restructure your code, think again of your approach to do some things related to your business logic, related to your business model. So I would avoid dirty checking at all.
Yeah, just to mention for everyone to understand, you may not call, you may avoid invoking save or update methods explicitly, and the Hibernate will still persist the changes to the database. I would avoid it too, because in my opinion, it makes code less readable. Because if you use save or update methods, you show the intention to update the entity in the database. And if you don't, well, now it works, tomorrow maybe Hibernate will change this feature, it will not work. Or if you switch from Hibernate to another GPA implementation, it will not work.
Yeah.
So I would avoid it. Yeah. Okay, I think we don't have any more questions. So thanks, guys, for joining us today. See you next week, and well, every other week in this year, I hope. Thanks, everyone, for the great presentation, and goodbye.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.